all the details in a bit. Welcome to the Melting Point on Memories 96.5 FM. My name is Sharon MANDOR, and I'm here with the president and founder of Open Forum, and he's also a public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, citizen Matthew Kofi O'Connor.
Thank you very much, Sharon. Good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
Good to be here.
All right, I hope your week has been good so far.
Oh, my week is always loaded. I always say I work 247.
Interesting. I know that's you.
I work 247, and that is for the people. That is why I'm even here now. Yeah. Let me say good morning to our listeners and those viewing us online. Good morning, fellow citizens, and good morning, humanity, whatever time zone you are. I greet you.
Yeah, we're streaming live on Facebook. The handle is Memories 965 FM if you'd like to join us via our Facebook. Before we go into what really bothers the Enquiry citizen, I'd like to get a follow-up from you. And I'm asking you this question, I'm bringing this up because coincidentally it was last Thursday that we're just talking about it. Let me just give a background of it. Less than a week after Senator Alim Dume, APC Borno South, tongue-lashed President Bola Tinubu-led government, the National Working Committee, NWC of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has written the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, asking for the immediate sack of Ndume as Senate Chief Whip. Ndume had accused Tinubu presidency of running a solo government despite hunger across the land, just as he had alleged in an interview that Tinubu had been fenced off and caged by certain forces, and expressed concerns over the lack of appreciable action by Tinubu in tackling poverty, insecurity, hunger, and other pressing issues. Citizen, did you see this coming at the time that we were talking about this?
Yes, I saw it coming, though I didn't see it coming in this dimension.
How so?
Also was that I personally had complained. Remember what I said? I said, what Ndume is saying, adding to the fact that he said that even ministers don't have access to Mr. President. Those with ideas don't have access to Mr. President. I said he should have, just kept it at the level of he as a senator and in his capacity as the chief whip, not to want to speak for ministers, primarily because I'm still not very happy at the amount of political pressure that is being put on President Bola Tinubu, particularly from a section of the country and from a religious sect who have not hidden their agenda. Like the clerics, Islamic clerics said that they went for Muslim ticket to foster well-being of Muslims, but they are not getting what they bargained for. And the Northerners said they supported him, believing that he was going to be their everything, but that he is not. And they are not going to support him for a second term, and they are withdrawing his support. All those attacks are in public domain. So wasn't things off? The president woke up one day and announced the creation of a very strange ministry called Ministry of Livestock Development, which was a demand by Miyetti Allah, who are the core organization behind cattle rearing in Nigeria, supported by key people from the north. And we know the crisis, we know the dangers to lives and communities that particularly marauding herdsmen have done to farmers. So herders were not the people at the receiving end, it was the farmers. But because of trying to please a section of the country, Mr. President announced a ministry when he was even talking about implementing the Orasanya report that talked about, you know, removing some ministries, merging some ministries and parastatals, reducing the size of government, and cutting costs in governance. But despite having the largest expo in the history of Nigeria and possibly in the world, under this economic crisis, Mr. President has added another ministry. And I complained last week, Thursday, that Ndume should have complained, Mr. President, why are you creating a new ministry? Livestock is a department under Ministry of Agriculture. Livestock herding is a business like other businesses. But he didn't do that. So I was angry with him over that. But then I said something that Ndume is a voice. He should not stop speaking because there are very few people that can say something once they are in government. Why? They call it table manners. You've been called to come and eat. So you don't talk while eating. So for Ndume, yeah, he had his own weaknesses, but he's proving himself to be a very exemplary representative of his people, Borno South. It wasn't the picture that we had of him during the time of right from the OBJ time through Jonathan's time. Remember the Boko Haram issue, and that at the point he had to be charged to court, one thing and the other over a relationship which the court I think eventually discharged him and said he wasn't guilty. So I am disturbed.
Citizen,
Yes.
let me come in there because the Labour Party has said that Ndume's removal indicates that speaking the truth to power has become a punishable offense in Nigeria. And, some other groups are saying that this is an insult to democracy. So what's your take on that?
I was coming to that because there's no way we can talk about APC's action without putting it side by side with who they are and the kind of things they have been saying to the opposition and what even the present president said to the leader of his party, the president who wasn't in power. First, understand that speaking truth to power is a crime in Nigeria. It's a crime anywhere, including in Akwa Ibom State. If you speak truth to power, you'll be said to be attacking government. You are giving ideas. You are bringing something to the table. And you are not even doing it in an insulting manner. But they say you are anti-government or anti-system because what they call system is supposed to be a fraternity, is supposed to be a cabal, a cartel, or a cult, or whatsoever. And the only thing people understand is say yes to everything. Whatever you say, you keep quiet. It's your turn to eat. If you want money, demand for it, they will give you. But we are not ready for accountability. We are not ready to take responsibility. So, looking at Ndume, is this the first time that Ndume has spoken against the party that he belongs? That is the question that we must ask and get answers. And I want to take us back to 2020. During the COVID, the first committee that was set up by President Buhari, COVID Palliative Committee, that was headed by, what's her name now? Sadiq Umar Farouk, the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, which some people, which even by their art has become disaster mismanagement. Ndume told the whole world and Mr. President that the committee he has set up is populated by kleptocrats, thieves. Let me quote him. He said some people are rushing to either share or steal this money. I have reliable information that even the names they have generated are fake and the BVN is not fraud proof. One person will names of their cooks, drivers, relatives, relatives of their house helps, and those they call poorest of the poor, and give this money to them. That was Senator Ali Ndume as a senator telling Mr. President. That was in 2020 in April. Have failed Nigerians. And he's also added that we have failed in our primary purpose. What is the primary purpose of government? Security and welfare. He said so. He said again, 2022, that Buhari was acting like he's not responsible, casual about insecurity. He made a statement in April. In July 2022, he made another statement on security again. The last one I want to take is the one that he made on December 2023. Buhari was not in charge of his government. Put all that together, from the first one that I noted, the kleptocrats that populated the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, SHARON, even our listeners, did Ndume lie? Is the minister, the former minister, not standing trial? The supposed current minister, is she not out of office and government has refused to bring out the report of the investigation? Is the ministry not been suspended? He was right. Go to Kuje prison break. Is it not a colossal indictment on government that what happened and the conversations between the terrorists and government, has it not come to pass? Even worse things not even happened, that even Lagos, there was no prison break in Kirikiri, that people were removed gradually.
That the APC will have to be careful with, because he is a representative of the people, and because in Nigeria as we speak, you are either in government or you are a citizen. Those are the two classes of people that exist in this country. And if you are not in government, you are in trouble, because that is the only profitable place that people eat. Outside of that, you die in penury. Now, did the sitting president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, attack his immediate, his predecessor in office, former President Buhari? Can you recall an occasion? Yes, during the campaigns, repeatedly, he said the government Buhari knows nothing. They don't know how to think, they don't know how to do. And he was coming to clear the mess. Himself was the national leader of the party that knew nothing and could not think, could not do anything. And he said if they like, let them drink fuel. He was going to drive them away from office. And he succeeded. The ticket was not withdrawn from him and all of that. But what am I trying to say? By the time we put Ndume's statements and the outcomes over time, I tell you sincerely, Ndume is saying nothing but the truth. So those who are uncomfortable, they should look for other ways to handle it and address the issues, because if you want to throw away the baby with the bad water, you will be seen as somebody that needs to get some medical attention. Anybody that does that. Nigeria is at a point where I have personally said that citizens should declare a state of emergency to help government, redirect government on the path that we will not fall off the cliff. So this is an indictment that Ndume said this, and he has a record of speaking truth to power, and he is to be silenced. I say, Ndume, speak out more, but please get more facts, get more people to join you. Otherwise, it's when they see just lone voices that you see people who say they are in government or they have power, they will try to suppress. But if you are really strong, like some of us are doing, I'm a victim of that, but my conscience has gotten above the level that anybody says, I am this, I am that, and you must take what I say, otherwise you won't breathe. Such a person does not exist, because we are here on earth to contribute our path to the advancement of humanity, and we'll all give account. Nobody's going to give my account. I'm going to stand before God and give account, and so every other person should be prepared for that. Those who don't have that consciousness, so be it. Until we get there.
All right, let's come back home now. The Enquiry State Governor, Pastor Moino, has highlighted several ongoing development projects in the state, including the imminent construction of an 18-story Ibom Tower in Lagos and the commencement of the building of 64 compassionate housing projects across the state, to be cited one in each ward, emphasizing the aim to impact grassroots communities directly. The governor again reiterated his full support for the local government autonomy, noted that Akwa Ibom State has long practiced financial independence for its local government, as he reaffirmed the state's commitment to working with local government to support communities despite the court judgments. Let's listen to an insert from the governor's speech on the day. He expressed concern about the potential impact on local communities if these responsibilities are not met, as residents may not fully understand the shift in fiscal responsibilities from the state to local government. Citizen, I'd like to hear your thoughts on Governor Moino's decision to build the 18-floor Ibom Towers in Lagos.
I think before I get into that revelation, let me just air my view a little about the responsibility that His Excellency has said is going to rest on the local government now.
Yeah.
I am one of those people who believes that Nigeria is a federation, and there's no federating unit in the world, even though I'm also a proponent of Nigerian content in whatever we do. But having to do with federalism, you only have two units that makes up a federal system. The federal, which is the central government or national government, and the states. Local governments are, even by the law of this country now, an administrative unit. It is not a third tier. It's not the third leg of the Federation of Nigeria. But because our leaders have refused to tell truth to themselves, and those that will tell truth to them, they feel so bad about such persons. Local government is not a third tier. So,
are you saying, as the situation right now, the local government is not a third tier of the government?
It's not a third tier in the federation. The local government is under the state. And I have said so even here and on the sister station, that I have not even seen the argument that the state governors put out, because the current crop of governors we have, they have not been as bold, they have not been as visionary as the crop under the entire administration, who will sit with Mr. President and come up with something to put on the table. People like Abonta, who were running presidential. Abonta said, no, he's going to run parliamentary system in Akwa Ibom State, and he did it. Now, they went to court. Up till now, we've not even seen their argument. And if the Supreme Court was not interpreting the law, I think section 162 sub 5 or thereabout, there's the issue of the joint account. It's a constitutional provision, and I want to say this again. I will keep on saying it. Joint account did not put the finances of local governments to risk. Joint account was because the constitution realized that, recognized the fact that local governments were under state. And what was the further directive? The further directive is that when the money comes through the joint state local government joint account, which in itself was to solve a problem, now the state government will now bring 10% of their IGR every month and share 10% of IGR to add to whatever federal government have sent to the local government. They will not to take away 1 naira. I hope you are getting me. I'm making this very simple enough for even a nursery school child to understand. When the money is sent, you are also a father, or federal government is the mother, you are the father. Now add what you have and give local government more than what came from federal traditional account. But what happened in most states, if not all, the state government decided to hijack the funds and even decide that they are to be paying salaries, because they say local government, you don't have capacity to pay salary. You cannot, your mental state cannot carry to pay salaries. You cannot pay pensions. I bet you, if you bring a council chairman here on air with me, let us discuss local government administration. I doubt which chairman will want to come on air, on Memories or any station. Let us talk about how local government has been administered and what some of them are saying. Now, because this has continued over the years, some people got used to it, and I've said so in the writing. I've not made public my official position yet. I'm going to do that maybe in a video, in a documentary. Is that even some governors, they will need rehabilitation because they can never survive without local government funds. Why? Some of the things they are put in place was based on, once the local government fund comes, they will get this amount, they can be able to take care of this, take care of that, and then something will be left over, because these people keep planning for election after the coming into office. So money is accumulated both for themselves and for the next election to buy people. So the local government, the judgment did not address fundamental issue, which is the non-existence of local government. And like it's been said, I'm not discussing that today, that the councils in Akwa Ibom have been collecting full money. Even a council chairman that spoke did not admit that. He said they have been getting enough. Enough does not mean all their monies.
But the governor said they have been getting their full.
Yes, before the governor made that statement, the council chairman made a press statement. And I commented, I told the guy, look, when you people post press statements, don't put media department or media unit, office of the chairman. Put the name of the person that is signing, which still shows the inefficiency, the mediocrity in the local government system. But those who have seen that press statement from that council will attest to the fact that the guy or the chairman did not say they have been getting their full payment. Another person was even quoted to say he's very happy they are now going to get their monies. He wanted to remain anonymous. So the issues there are so glaring that, look at Oyo State. Makinde, who knows the value of how much they have been getting from local government and what it's been able to do to them as a state. He had to call a meeting of council chairmen, NOLGE, NLC, TUC. The press were there, and he was using parallel language for a very long time. As he was talking, it was very clear that this judgment, in fact, he has set up a committee, two committees, one legal committee, the other committee to look at how they are going to survive. The other one is, please look at this judgment. What can we do, because it's going to affect us? We are to run our state. Federal government is not superior to the state. It's just a level of government. So for us, we either face the reality, or reality will come back to haunt us. If the local government in Akwa Ibom have been getting all their monies, and then the mess we see has been going on, with some of them getting as much as 200, 300 and something million every month, it calls for questioning. So I want to appeal to His Excellency. You have so much goodwill of the people. Let's build on that. some things cannot be said because they are people that know so much what has been going on, and they have been making contributions. Unfortunately, some administration, particularly the last administration, refused to be. He was allergic to ideas. So what do you have? You have issue of trust. If I read to you some quotes, even within this period, even during the birthday of the last governor that people put up, you will know that you have people that are frank. Some are not even talking. Some are even just giving up. And they want to rub that off on Pastor Moino. No, we must protect His Excellency Pastor Moino by giving ideas, by bringing facts to the table. So for me, Osun State, all the caretaker committee members, I hope you are aware, 464, whatever, have all resigned because the judgment was said to have taken immediate effect. But have the caretaker committees in Akwa Ibom State, have they resigned, or has the government disbanded them? Not yet. So there are lots of issues, but no matter the manipulations, no matter how some persons will speak and believe that you don't have a view because people should be thinking for you, it's not everybody. And society is not about those in power. Those in power are servants. They are not leaders. The leaders, because sovereignty resides with the people. And until that consciousness comes in, I tell you sincerely, no matter how glorious or how wonderful one thinks he is, you end up going back home and that same yourself that, oh, I've messed up today. Correct. How will I correct it? So on that aspect, there's so much of a local government system because there's no local government system. What is there is just a center for expenses and for settlement, and until we turn that local government areas into development areas, which some of us have a master plan. I don't want to be in government. I can help government. I've been helping government to bring ideas to the table. Until we do that, from the local government to the state to national, this crisis that we are in, the end may not be well, God forbid, because some of us are standing in the gap. Now to the main question that you asked, the issue of the 18-story Ibom Towers.
Yes.
I must have said so here, and I've said so elsewhere. Pastor Moino endeared himself to me when he came into office. The first thing he did was to convoke a very high-powered Arise Summit to look at his campaign plan, which, because of how role swaps, manifestos, and campaign promises are supposed to be documents of the party. But because times have helped them change, the candidates are the ones who come out with their plans, and some of these plans are written for them by consultants, and I bet you some candidates, not even aspirants, they do that as aspirants when they start. Some of them didn't even read from cover to cover. Some of them never made serious contributions. Maybe they just made a point, and somebody came up with a slogan that would be a selling point, and then they run with it. It's supposed to be party manifesto, where party members are supposed to have and use and campaign freely. But you have agendas put out by a candidate. Moino has his own. He didn't start it, so we can't blame him for it. And now he subjected that plan, the Arise agenda, to discourse by experts. Some of them came from outside Nigeria. And by the time they will retire the money that was spent and the retreat that was held in Lagos and elsewhere, it may run into several zeros, let me not mention. But they know, some of us that have followed up things, that have seen some reports, we can imagine how much was spent. Fabulous sum. So, they came out with a roadmap for his Arise agenda. As I speak, I've been looking for the roadmap, the final blueprint of the Arise agenda. I have not. The final one. Why am I saying so? Whatsoever plan, whatsoever program to be implemented is supposed to come from the outcome of that summit. The productivity of the commissioners, the cabinet, including even personal aid that inherited from the last administration, which was glaringly one of the most underperforming, one of the most unproductive cabinet, inherited everybody and then took them to Lagos. When Akpabio came here with the whole of National Assembly to hold a retreat with the cabinet members, including even some contractors, and people were not even in government, party people, to prepare them, and he gave them warning. If you don't perform, you will hear your name on 4 o'clock news. I won't forget it. Now, what have we had so far from His Excellency? Pensions and gratuities?
Yeah.
That were never paid, 10 years and beyond, and then the cries of some persons who wanted harmonization of their pensions, like the retired permanent secretaries, some of whom are in their 90s or more, who had to go to court because the last administration refused to listen to them and most other persons. Moino addressed that as one of the first things was to receive the retired permanent secretaries. I don't want to mention names. People that made this state. They came from Cross River with the state, laid the foundations, prepared the state for what it is, but they cried for harmonization. It was never done. They went to court, and the rest is history. Moino has resolved that. So solving these problems, and then the fuel crisis, naira devaluation without plan, now threw him out of balance. His Excellency had to go on palliative, doing more than what federal government is doing to cushion the effect. And a number of things started coming down, which means that most focus has been on the poverty level, which we were plunged into intentionally. And some people will be clapping that was the best thing to happen to Akwa Ibom State. Umoino is saddled with that. But would that make His Excellency to deviate from the master plan? Why am I saying so? I did not hear in the budget that there is a plan to go into estate development. So if within 1 year we've not seen some very legacy projects to be undertaken based on the Arise blueprint, the final copy, there is something wrong. Then if we are hearing about development of going to investment in real estate, maybe our attention will be drawn to where it was captured, or if it's a new thinking. The forum to have announced that becomes a problem, because if you don't give people information and you want to take them by surprise, there are two things will happen. Instant rejection. Why? Their previous experience. Sharon, you are aware of the promise of the immediate past governor when he wanted to build 21-story building. What did he say? Right from the scratch, he said Mobu was relocating to Akwa Ibom State.
That was actually where I was going to.
Yes.
Because Akwa Ibomites are shouting, what's really going on with that story building that's just dormant? A lot of money was plunged into it, and we're handling now a story building, 18-story building in Lagos.
Yes.
Considering also the timing of this project, where there's economic crisis, there's food crisis in the land.
The fact is that there are some persons who believe that you can't move out money except it's going to some big project, mega projects. That's the only source you'll be able to move out some monies, because you must prepare yourself, you must be able to take care of some persons, and the bigger the project, the bigger what you are going to take out. And some are purely because of lack of ideas on what to do, and some are pure deceit in trying to cover up those inadequacies in thinking without the box. You have to lie.
Are you alleging that this, this story building, 18-story building in Lagos is not true?
No. That's
Or
what
it's just a plan?
I'm still referring to the 21-story building.
Okay,
Because by the time the project was over, a very responsible man in this state said he spoke with senior executives of Mobile by the time the former governor was busy telling the world that project Mobile is relocating and the whole place has been in fact taken up. That man said he spoke with top Mobile executives and they said he wasn't saying the truth. There's nothing like that. And before that building could be ready, Mobile sold off their stake onshore. Are we aware of that? And as we speak, even offering the place free for some persons to come so that it will be attractive to do this and that, it's impossible. Even the cost of that project, by the time a responsible government will want to take stock of Akwa Ibom State, you'll be shocked at some of the things we're going to see. So, you don't do any project based on lies, because it's going to come back big time on you. For Pastor Moino, some persons have given insight into what is really happening. That in Lagos, I think in Lagos alone, Akwa Ibom has about maybe 10 properties. And those properties are at various stages of disrepair. I hope that does not even include the most controversial one that the former governor went to do, the Akwa Ibom house in Lagos, which he described 1.6 billion as meager, which made Inibere to come here and hold a protest. And I remember after Inibere protest, the former governor, MANDOR, went into the market to relate with traders. He was also on the street, and that is history now. I don't know how effective that place has been put to use, but there are two properties that have been mentioned by some of the governor's media people. There is a property on Aboyade Coal Street on Victoria Island, another property at Ajosedeogun Street, still in Victoria Island, and that those buildings are going to give way for the real estate. VI is a highbrow. It's even a plus that we had properties there. And I'm very sure those properties were useful when they were put there by previous governments of Akwa Ibom State, or maybe even from Cross River State. Maybe that became our share, I don't know. But I'm going to dig in more to find out when these properties were developed. But they said these properties are in state of disrepair. So if somebody has properties on VI and those properties are in state of disrepair, some persons should be disciplined. VI, Victoria Island, like Ngige said, I'm a Lagos boy. How can Mushi boy talk to VI boy? I'm a VI boy. Remember that altercation with the National Assembly senator and all of that. When we talk about VI, I lived in Yaba. I used to go to VI. When you go to VI, the feeling is different. Some of my friends lived in VI. So the feeling is different because it's a different part of the country, far back. Now, we have a property that's in state of disrepair there, that is questionable, that is one. Two, His Excellency is an investment, is an investor. The instant feel like most people I have heard, they are very bitter. The level of poverty in this land, the fact that a number of projects that were initiated by the previous government were not done based on truth, based on reality, they were done as fiction. One of them is the Dakada luxury estate. A vice president was brought to commission Gate House and just the Gate House. And today, what is the state of that estate? Now, the development should have rather been government wants to change the plan of selling the plots there, which, if my memory does not fail me, was said to be sold at 30-something million or so. It's for the exclusive class, that is the VI of Akwa Ibom, in short, which is supposed to be more elegant than Shelter Afrique or a wet housing estate that was done far back, and people are altering everything there, putting up their mansions there, some of them doing what can only make people to say something is wrong with this person. Now, so if we are not developing the real estate in Akwa Ibom to drive, because of the investment opportunities that we are supposed to have gotten, which was also based on deception, we didn't have what we were told we were going to have. Why Lagos? The question will be, why Lagos? Now, the 21-story building is so far a failed project. It takes maybe tens to hundreds of millions to even maintain it. What other form of real estate can government go into that we can be done here to develop Akwa Ibom? Those are the questions. And was it in the budget? Now, it's actually said that the contractor that is going to build the what do you call it, something gardens, luxury gardens, you understand, where you had the former timber market. I understand about 32 buildings. It's going to have maybe 100 sitter space, conference place, playground, and central power source. And he has said it clearly, that is luxury. No, ordinary people don't come near here. It's okay. Why? That project was initiated as far back as, was it Bishop of Emmanuel or even Pabio? Because I was with the commissioner who was in that ministry, and we talked then. He said this is what they intend to do there, but it never happened. And some persons wanted to even cut that land and sell to themselves, from what we also heard. But if the government has taken it over, that's a wonderful idea. I commend that. But saying that the contractor that is going to do that work is going to do it as an experiment to merit the 18-story building Ibom Towers in Lagos shows that arrangements, everything has been concluded about the Lagos project, and for the government to say all this has shown that maybe sometimes you don't need executive approvals, for some things, or you don't need to go to the House of Assembly for some appropriations, because you can never go to the point of talking about this without the design being ready. And that design will cost possibly in billions, because the architect will collect percentage of the total cost, and other service providers there. So it's raising questions. So I want to appeal to His Excellency. We support you. I would do anything possible to see that you succeed. I'm doing my part because I am leading what I call Open Forum Global Community, which is a coalition of the bright and the brave for nation building and to be voice of the voiceless. And we cannot build a nation without supporting leadership. There are some things that will be very difficult to market even a performing government. This very project, if they are from the master plan, let a press statement be made so that people can be carried along. But this very one has not been it has not sitted well with most people. All right, so let's open the phone lines now to get reactions from Akwa Ibomites, how they feel about this project that the governor has embarked on. All right, the phone lines are open, and the phone numbers are 0803 085 7755 or 0809 066 6909. We don't have so much time, so you're going to keep it short and simple. We're streaming live on Facebook. The handle is Memories965FM, and of course you can send a message to our WhatsApp number too. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome. Welcome. Go on quickly, please.
My brother Martino.
Good morning, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah, I heard all what you said. You know, this your program, the way you talk it like they are in school already. Speaking of what you not even know, and I really appreciate that.
I thank you.
I really appreciate that. I really want to appreciate you that if a state like outside of state will have many people like you speaking the truth, I think this state will go very far. I really appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, let's hear from Mudo. Mudo, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Sharon, once again. Good morning, Citizen Obama.
Good morning, sir.
I pray God to continue to protect you and bring us
Amen.
And the people will also submit themselves
Amen.
to give you the actual support that you need to continue your work.
I need it so badly. I need it. Thank you.
I pray in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
I want to say that the movement deserves what is starting to make you know, because I see his action as hypocritical. Because I think the first thing he's supposed to do is to tell senators that they have to cut down the money that they take home, so that they can take care of those people that they are representing.
That's right.
Talking about this someone Lagos State, I want to say that I also pray God to build that all seriously for him to come and intervene.
Don't wrap up.
The reason I say so is that this project has never had a problem state, and the people are saying that there was land there already. And I want to say that they can sell it and sell whatever property that is there.
All
And
right.
bring that money to avoid people that are industrious. So take up something in avoid state. Because this thing cannot bring anything to avoid life.
Thank you, Udo.
It is not a good plan. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We have to go. All right, we have another one. Let's take it. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you. Akpan,
Good morning, ladies. Sharon.
you're welcome.
Good morning, Mr. This is Akpan calling from you.
Good morning, Mr. Pen.
Yeah, I want to say that the Supreme Court supporting local government financial autonomy is in the right direction, even though they circumvented the Constitution. Let local government money go direct to them, because those governors have abused the right of the rural people. Those money they are using for their own personal benefit. For the Enquiry building, that building should be there. Lagos is so congested. People have property, government have property. Not all are used. If they put it there, if it's not used today, it will be used tomorrow. So I don't see any sense in it.
All right.
The government should be gone to change the decision.
Thank you,
Because
Akpan.
that is not the best for the people. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, citizen, let's hear from you. Reaction to this calls in 2 minutes.
First of all, I want to thank all the callers. The first caller said, it's like we're in a classroom. Yeah, every conversation, if you cannot explain or say what you want to convey in a terms that is not understood, even you don't know it. So we try to make it very simple enough for even a child to understand, and that should be the way analysts should do. We are analysts and solutionists. I'm not just an analyst. I prefer possible solutions. So we can't go lower than this, and that's what member wherever we are should be known for. I thank the second caller for praying God for protection and to give people to support. If you know what is going on because you are in the spirit. If people know the kind of things you have been doing without boasting, Sharon, what some persons cannot do with 100 million, I do it with 1 million, and that's the truth. And it's so tight, and we pray God that God will help people to support. Unfortunately, those who are supposed to be in support, there's this divide. You're either in government or you're a citizen, and people some citizens want to be part of government, so they will not want to support anything that has to do with as if you are bringing issues, you are trying to show that you know something. Pretend. So that is what is killing us as a people, and that's why they clap for somebody that was failing woefully until the person exited with pomposity, and will not allow that. All those balloons will put pins on them. Now for Mr. Akpan, the boom towers, I have said, it's controversial because of the way it has been said. Government is accountable to the citizens, and the governor once said in this state that leaders know things more than citizens, and what they see, citizens don't see it. That is a very erroneous mentality. Yes, leaders are chosen because they are supposed to be ahead of others, but they work. That's why even a king has to have council members. A king, but unfortunately, like something that wanted to happen is maybe and all of that. You are not dealing with demons. We are dealing with human beings, and for the fact that some souls have been liberated, are on a mission to help humanity. They are not afraid of death. They are not afraid of hunger. So we must be firm. We want to engage His Excellency. Let's bring this conversation to the town hall.
All right.
And convince people that at a mother that loses its children at early stage doesn't feel comfortable when the children sleep. Because of what we suffered, not recently, people will be skeptical. A caller on radio said something I want to say here. He said, no, Governor, and I'm going to. Last night, it was, you just see that the person doesn't know how to convey it. Why? Because they are going to judge him by another person. We need to treat His Excellency as a person, not because of what another person does. And how do we do that? By analyzing any policy and every policy to be sure that it will suit us, because some of us have suffered more than enough.
All right, thank you. We have to wrap up with this WhatsApp message. Good morning to you all. Aline Juma's comments are constructive criticism meant for democratic values and an abuse on our democracy. This shows that the cabals are at work against Nigerians' plight. Secondly, building a housing estate in Victoria Island will not tackle poverty and unemployment ravaging Akwa Ibom State. It is a misplaced priority, John Mbo. Thank you very much for all the calls. Thank you very much, citizen. We're out of time. Okay.
My pleasure always being here. But, sorry, please. Happy birthday to Otobong from Mona. Her birthday was on Saturday. She's one of our fans here.
Yes, nice.
Yes.
Happy birthday to Otobong.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, citizen.
My pleasure always.
Thank you very much for listening to the show. The Melting Point. We'll do this again tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. to 11. Right now, we have to make way for MC Asa to start off the BBU belt at the top of the hour. My name is Sharon Mandor. Thank you again for listening and joining me on the morning ride.